So my name is Carl and this is my younger brother Alex, and for the last 15 years,
yeah, we've spent our lives fishing and filming our adventures and putting it on YouTube. And I think going fishing in the first place was probably the best decision we ever made.
By the end of this video you'll see why, and also learn what fishing can do for you as well. Also, we've got an exciting announcement to make, so stay tuned for that. My journey in fishing started when I was probably 9 or 10. We had just moved house and our granddad gave us a poster. On that poster was a selection of British freshwater fish. I looked at that poster and saw a perch in particular and I thought, I'd like to catch one of those.
Being Carl's younger brother, I saw him start fishing, I saw him do a little bit of it, and I decided to follow in his footsteps. It looked like a fun thing to do, and yeah, that's how I started. I can hardly remember my first few fishing trips, but I can kind of imagine that they didn't go very well. I definitely didn't catch much, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Without really noticing, we became really obsessed by fishing. It was kind of what we lived for, what we looked forward to throughout the week.
We discovered all the different types of fishing that was possible, and I particularly got quite into match fishing. Competitive fishing where you'd be sat around a lake full of other anglers trying to catch the most fish. My first fishing match went actually quite dreadfully. I think I came last, caught one tiny fish. It was about that long. I might have shed a tear at the end because it was that dreadful. But it showed how much I cared about fishing and doing well at it.
We'd be at school and we'd be just thinking about our next fishing trip. Where were we going to go? What species were we going to try and target? And fishing throughout our school time just grew and grew and grew into an obsession.
Maybe it was because of that first match and that dreadful result which gave me the drive to keep going at it and eventually do a little bit better. Because over the following years I kept going to these matches. After about 3 or 4 years of doing the matches, I eventually came first place in the league.
It was clear that we had found our passion. Fishing meant everything to us. However, there was something else we also showed an interest in.
Pretty much as soon as our mum got hold of her first ever digital camera, taking photos and doing videos became quite a large part of our lives. We'd document, riding our bikes up and down the road, the holidays we'd go on, but then also we began taking that camera fishing with us. The ability to get home from a fishing trip and relive the moments and enjoy that fishing trip for longer and be able to remember the fish that we'd caught or the things we'd seen was really special to us, and we began taking those video clips and photos and posting them on YouTube.
Believe me, our first videos were absolutely terrible, but we loved it, so nothing got in our way of doing more.
Of course, when we started making videos, we didn't expect anyone to see them. But yeah, one day we logged on to our YouTube account. I think I was actually too young to have an account at the time. So I had to lie about my age. Somehow, a few hundred people have watched the videos.
We also got a fair amount of hate comments, but our burning passion for fishing and filming helped us see past that to bigger and better things.
In our early teens, we plucked up the courage to go on our first proper fishing adventure. Our trip to Canada was big. It was big for a number of reasons. The fish we caught whilst we were there blew our minds, but it also just solidified for us the fact that fishing was our thing. Fishing and filming it was going to enable us to travel, to see the world, and to catch fish and visit places we had only ever dreamed of beforehand. All the way through education, I hated it. It's just true. Some people take to environments like that better than others. I couldn't stand the noise, I couldn't stand large numbers of people, the stress, the busyness of it all. But at least I could sit there at the back of the class and doodle in my notebook and draw pictures of fish that I hoped I'd catch at the weekend.
I tried quite hard actually to convince some of my friends at school to go fishing with me. Wasn't very successful. The odd occasion someone would join me, but they wouldn't be interested whatsoever. They'd end up throwing sticks in the water or spooking all the fish away. Yeah, I told all my friends about my fishing obsession. They just thought I was weird. They called me Fish Boy.
And I think that's one of the reasons why we were so driven to make the videos about fishing and to build a sort of community around our YouTube channel. But also, we hoped that we'd inspire some other people to go fishing as well. Looking back, I think the thing I'm most happy about is that we have been able to help others get fishing and start out.
Along with our videos, Carl had an idea a few years ago to write a simple fishing guidebook, the kind of book we would have loved to have as a kid. The aim being to help young and beginner anglers on their fishing journey. But this was going to be a long project, so Carl, along with his girlfriend Omi, who is an incredibly talented illustrator, got to work.
I came out of education with very little academic achievements. Qualification-wise, my CV looked rather weak, but because we had spent every weekend by a lake or river somewhere, taking photos and filming the fish that we were catching, we had at least one skill, which was the filmmaking.
When I was offered a job working as a cameraman and editor for a fishing company, I was quite relieved because throughout school I had no idea what I wanted to do. I obviously loved fishing and being outdoors, but yeah, getting that job was like a big step in the right direction, and one that I didn't really see coming, to be honest.
A few years of work passed and my brother and I moved out. Both of us having jobs and working very hard at them meant that we actually had a little bit of money. That money gave us the freedom to travel, to get ourselves a vehicle, and basically every weekend we could just go fishing and try new places.
Every penny we earned and every bit of time we had, we used it on our fishing trips. And I don't regret it one bit. We travelled to loads of different countries and made many friends, and these were some of the best times. But after 4 years of employment, we chose to take a massive risk. We quit our jobs as videographers and decided to put all of our effort into YouTube and make this our full-time project. Despite the worries of earning enough money and the other stresses involved, we took the leap, and since the summer of 2019, we've been creating loads more content for the YouTube channel that you're watching now. The following years were hectic and full to the brim with these adventures all over the globe. But as we got a little older, we started realising some of the more subtle things that fishing had done for us.
Being an obsessed fisherman, you spend a lot of time outdoors and in some beautiful surroundings as well. And although when I was a bit younger, I was very focused on the fishing part of it all, as I've got older, I think I have matured a little bit, and I actually find a lot of interest and enjoyment out of all these other things that come with the fishing, like the plants that you're surrounded by and the wildlife.
I basically got a lot more interested in the world. My hobbies broadened, and things which once seemed boring or dull now caught my eye and meant something to me.
I don't really know how, but fishing has somehow led us to so many different places and helped us grow so many skills and interests and hobbies throughout our lives. It's taken me, a young boy who got very excited about catching that first little fish from the lake, to now where I'm interested in fish keeping, koi ponds and aquascaping, and it seems like fishing has been the has been like the energy that's pushed us into so many places in life. I hated writing as a kid in school, and now I find myself writing a book. You know, I couldn't concentrate for more than a few minutes, and now I spend 2 weeks editing a video. And it's thanks to fishing that I've persevered and grown my skills, my interests, and grown as a person as well.
When COVID-19 hit the scene, Carl and Omi used this difficult time to get pen to paper and finish off their book project. It's full of beautiful coloured drawings of UK fish species and a guide on how to target each of them. Easy to follow diagrams of knots and tactics, and loads more helpful information for anyone who's getting into fishing.
The best part about a fishing trip for me is the discovery. It's the covering new ground. It's the driving somewhere or walking somewhere that you've never been to before and experiencing it for the first time. Fishing has taken us to so many cool places, and it's been because of our desire to track down and find certain species of fish or fish of certain sizes that has resulted in us being in some really beautiful places.
Watching them create this book made me want to be a kid and go through the fishing learning process once again. Seeing Carl write pages upon pages of words and Omi create incredibly detailed drawings, it also made me feel lucky to work with a couple of very talented people.
I've never been one to go out and seek human interaction. You could say I'm an introvert, and talking to other people when I was younger was very, very difficult. But through making our videos and through fishing, we have ended up meeting some of the best people, the people that are still with us today as friends, colleagues. There's been some people who haven't been so nice, of course. Anytime you put yourself out there, anytime you strive to succeed at something, there'll be people that sort of get in your way and they want to put you down, they want to criticize you and pick holes in everything that you do. But it's been a minority. The vast majority of comments through our YouTube channel, people that we've met out on the bank, have been so lovely and supportive. Best friend of mine, Ryan, I met him because of fishing. He was one of the first people that I spent time with on the bank, and I still go fishing with him to this day. My girlfriend, it's quite a coincidence, I'll admit, but I was out fishing on the canal when she walked into my life. But I think, to be honest, the most important relationship that has benefited most from our journey through fishing has been that of me and my brothers. You don't find many siblings that get along well, let alone live together, and on top of that, work together. I'll admit that what I have done with my brother and the friendship that we have and the appreciation for one another has thrived, in my opinion, because we've shared a hobby that has given us everything we have in our lives. And I think when Alex edits this part of the video, he'll cringe or he'll cry. Or maybe a bit of both. Alex said that we needed to record an outro to the video. So, where do people go if they want a copy?
They click the link below.
Yes, that's correct. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking by us all of these years. And I hope you enjoy reading our simple fishing guidebook.